Greetings and welcome to my studio. My name is Christopher James. I am a composer, and I'd like to speak with you about my Bassoon Concerto and about plans to make a professional studio recording of it for public release in the near future. I'm here with my colleagues Carolyn Beck, bassoonist par excellence, who introduced my concerto, our concerto really I should say, to the public 2 years ago, and with Max Lifshitz, the founder and director of the North-South Consonance Chamber Orchestra. In this presentation, you will hear excerpts from the concerto, played by Carolyn and myself here in my studio, with just bassoon and piano, and another excerpt of a performance of the second movement under the auspices of the International Double Reed Society, again with Carolyn as soloist and with Max as conductor. Max, tell us about the North-South Consonance.
Sure. Well, it's a group, performing organization. I founded the organization to perform music by American composers and Latin American composers, and actually that's how we met.
Max, you go back a long way with Carolyn Beck.
Yes, because Caroline used to play with us.
I did.
And in the 80s when you were getting a doctorate at Manhattan School
right.
of Music, and we played many concerts, I remember.
Right, between
yes.
82 and 86 or 7.
Right, correct.
And when I made that reduction of the concerto, we didn't know who was going to play it, but you found Carolyn to play it.
Yes, and I thought maybe Caroline might want to do it, and
crazy.
Because I know she always was a great bassoonist.
When I looked at the score, I was really excited because this piece is something different than most of our repertoire.
Yes.
You know, it's a new piece,
yes.
But it's so tonally based but very chromatic. It's very different, very expressive, and I love the degree of expressiveness in all the different places.
Yes,
it's a very complex piece, but it shows off also the character of the bassoon.
Yes.
And he wrote a lot of it in the high register, which I really love singing in that register, even though it's tiring.
Yes.
I think it's a fearsomely difficult piece to perform.
It is.
You know, your music is modern, but at the same time it's very traditional. It's rooted in tradition, and it could almost be like post-romantic.
It is, I think,
Yes,
frankly, neo-romantic. I tend to go back and forth between neo-romantic music and a more mainstream modernism.
Yes.
So.
And this one's definitely on the romantic
On the
side.
romantic
Yeah,
side.
absolutely.
Yes.
I think recording is the ideal vehicle for presenting music like this, of this degree of difficulty, and in a way serves the music.
Because I think the piece is it's very accessible and approachable, and it's really a virtuoso vehicle for a good bassoonist, for a great bassoonist.
Even when I was working with a pianist in LA before I premiered it, he said, "So what's going to happen with this?" He says, "This is a real piece."
This is a real piece.
He said, "This is a real piece of music. It's really..."
And it deserves to be recorded.
Indeed.
You know.
The project of recording and producing the concerto is necessarily a fairly expensive proposition. So the musicians' fees are by far the greatest part of the budget. But there are also expenses involved in recording the piece, expenses in making the master, in editing, in production, manufacture, and incidental expenses. Therefore, we appeal to you to be the judge of whether you think this project is worthwhile, whether based on what you've seen and heard here, you think that you would like to help to bring it to life. And if you liked what you heard, please open your pockets and donate to our cause. Remember, we must find a way to pay 14 professional musicians for their services over a period of several days. Please see the text portion of our Kickstarter campaign, which will have additional information on the project and on Carolyn, Max, and myself, and details on the incentives for each level of support, and where we will also keep you up to date on how our campaign is progressing. Thank you for your support.